Hey guys, how's it going? Coach Tyson from Ox Strength and back with Amro programming series. If you haven't watched the first part, I would highly recommend that you watch it so that you have a basic understanding of all of the key terms that is needed for you guys to understand in the videos to come. And this is हामीले यो एकदमै popular demand भएर गरेको video, so I hope you guys like it, share it with your friends and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. अनि अब पछि हामीले courses चाहिँ launch गर्छौं, but this is like a general overview of everything. So आजको भिडियोमा चाहिँ what we're going to talk about is annual planning अनि कसरी चाहिँ training program लाई structure मा हाल्ने, because we talked a great deal about having to plan many things हैन. So annual plan मा चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ एउटा structure बन्छ, periodization model कसरी बन्छ मात्रै हामी कुरा गर्छौं, and we'll talk about a few considerations अनि त्यो भन्दा more detail चाहिँ will be in the next video. So yeah, let's get started. So this is my slide, as you can see up here, from 2019 but it's still basically the same. So an annual plan basically guides all of your training goals. अब सबै कुरा annual plan मा हाल्ने हो के. So this is like a year plan. हामीले स्कुलहरुमा पढ्दाखेरि पनि क्यालेन्डर हुन्छ नि, जुनमा चाहिँ छुट्टी लेखेको हुन्छ, यो दिन पब्लिक हलिडे, यो दिन स्कुलको छुट्टी, यो दिन स्कुलको प्रोग्राम, यो दिन एनुअल डे अर त्यस्तै खालके एउटा हुन्छ हैन. अनि यो चाहिँ एउटा एनुअल प्लान हो. इट डजन्ट मिन कि हुनै पर्छ. अब स्कुलमा हुँदा पनि कहिलेकाहीँ यतिकै सरप्राइज हलिडे हुन सक्छ अथवा बन्द भएर फेरि छुट्टीहरु लिनु मिल्छ, छुट्टीहरु लाइक फेरि फिर्ता लिन्छ. सो त्यस्तै खालके नै एउटा टुल हो. तर इफ यु हैव अ जनरल आइडिया व्हाट यु वान्ट टु डु फर दिस इयर up until the competition, if you have some priorities that you need to lay it out, so यो कुराहरु चाहिँ एनुअल प्लानमा राखिराख्ने so that we can develop a program around it. So normally हामीले क्लाइन्ट्सहरुसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि one on one हो भने चाहिँ पहिल्यै सोच्छौं के छ प्लान्सहरु, दशैंमा के हुन्छ, तिहारमा के हुन्छ, when you want to peak, when it's a competition, यस्तो कुराहरु सोधेर चाहिँ हाल्छौं हामीले प्लानमा. अनि ट्रेनिङलाई पनि every distinct pieces मा छुटाउँछौं के. So यो 4 weeks चाहिँ हामी strength block गर्छौं, building block गर्छौं, peaking block, competition, we want to lose some weight during this block. हामी यसको बारे will discuss as we move on. So what goes into the annual plan? So basically everything that you can put in. So you could put travel गर्छ, यो बेला ट्राभल गरिरा हुन्छु, यो बेला छुट्टी छ, मेरो कम्पिटिसनहरु यता छ, so many things. You can put everything that comes to your mind so that you can make a training program around it. Alright, so once that is done, हामीले अब यसलाई केही कुरा मात्र लेखेर हाल्नु पर्यो. So I simply like to make an Excel sheet. अनि Excel sheet मा चाहिँ basically एउटा structure बनाउँछु अनि basically just put everything there अनि कसरी चाहिँ ट्रेनिङलाई अप्रोच गर्ने भनेर चाहिँ म त्यहाँनिर हाल्छु. So let's open an empty Excel sheet which says sample annual plan. So let's say we put the date, आजको date हालेर we can start, or we can just start from, we can start from today. So today is the November 6th 2022 हैन. And week by week गरे नि हुन्छ, daily program बनाए नि हुन्छ. अब I think daily गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ it's going to be too long for this video, but you could do it for the entire week if you wish to do it. अनि after once this is done, it basically understands what you want to do. So yeah, every week को एउटा week छ नि त. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. So this is going to be, let's say, a 13 week program, and we want to put everything that goes into this program first and foremost. So हामीले periodization को कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ let's first start by the periodization blocks, and then के भन्छ, we'll put other things slowly afterwards. So periodization गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ there could be a lot of considerations. So अब athlete को program गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ there could be a lot of consideration. कस्तो खालको athlete हो पहिला बुझ्नु पर्यो नि त. So एउटा athlete आउन साथै यो template तिमीलाई भनेर दिन मिल्दैन. So there could be a lot of different considerations. So मेरो sheet मा भयो जस्तो first thing first, age. So if you're a younger lifter or if you're an older lifter, so let's say younger lifter छ भने चाहिँ he's around 16 15, most likely a less built guy, obviously भर्खरै gym start गरिरहेछ हैन. So he could focus a lot more on hypertrophy work, or he already has good mobility, so he could focus more on strength. अब यस्तो consideration हुन्छ. Younger lifter is more likely to handle more volume than an older lifter. Let's say somebody comes at an age around our age, 25 26, been working around for around 5-6 years, 6 years, 7 years. So हेर्ने के चाहिँ प्रब्लम छ विथ द एज. अब 25-26 र 16-17 मा चाहिँ त्यति धेरै रिकभरी डिमान्ड हुँदैन, बट 16 could potentially handle more volume, but then the 25-year-old guy could be a bit stronger. Or maybe 40, 50, 60 छ भने चाहिँ we have to be really cautious about going really heavy on every single day, or like focus more on mobility work. So different age को लागि different consideration हुन्छ. Gender is another big thing. हामीले यसमा चाहिँ like Oxtrength को full podcast गरेछ कि literally like men र women को differences त खासै त्यसरी छैन, तर women भयो भने चाहिँ it's different from men भन्दाखेरि. So gender differences पनि you could understand from that video. But in general, women are able to train closer to their maxes more often than men, and their recoverability is higher than men, whereas men can move a lot more weight than women. अब genetics, hereditary हेर्दाखेरि पनि हुन्छ, but then I don't consider at this point in time we should really focus on genetics. But then some things we have to take into consideration. अब muscle build गर्नु खोजिरहेको छ, but the bicep को peak नै छैन, short छ भने it has to be well spoken between the coach and the athlete हैन. Fiber typing पनि nowadays I don't really focus a lot, but then faster twitch muscle हुने मान्छेहरु चाहिँ they respond better to lower volume and able to move more weight, whereas on the other end slower twitch fiber हुने मान्छेहरु who are training more for endurance sort of a stuff, they just respond better to higher volume training. अनि heavy मात्रै गर्यो भने they feel like workout भइरा छैन. So यस्तो कुराहरु हुन्छ. त्यसपछि physical characteristics हरुमा पनि it makes a lot of difference. So let's say I am a very tall guy, 6 feet 2 inches or something, with very long femurs. So when I am squatting compared to somebody who's 5'4" and his short femur छ भने the range of motion like एकजनाले 1 rep गर्दा अर्कोको 2 rep बराबरै हुन्छ. So यस्तो कुराहरु पनि पुश गर्न मिल्छ. अब 6'2" छ, long femurs छ, 5x8 squat गराइदियो भने त like it's the end, like उसको like life को end हुन्छ त्यो दिनै. Because but then whereas somebody who's more built to squat like 5'4" छ, short femurs, big quads छ भने 4x8 ठिकै छ, it's not that difficult because range of motion पनि shorter हुन्छ. कस्तो training state भएछ त, कस्तो time of life मा छ उ, is he or she in a very fit state, or they're coming back after let's say a pregnancy, or they're coming back after 2 years layover. तर पहिला चाहिँ राम्रो थियो, अब फेरि एकदमै एडभान्स मान्छे धेरै पछि ट्रेनिङमा फिर्ता आएर if you make them work hard they can work hard, but then it leads into a lot of overreaching or issues. Rhabdo नै हुन सक्छ, rhabdomyolysis भन्छ. This is like the extreme end, but then यस्तो कुराहरु याद गर्नुपर्छ. Whereas some people are not able to push, अब उनीहरुले एक्टिङ गरे हैन, or like उनीहरु physically able नै हुँदैन. So training state पनि हेरेर प्रोग्राम क्रिएट गर्नुपर्छ. मेरो प्रोग्राम छ, मेरो स्क्वाट यो प्रोग्रामले राम्रो भयो, but then we cannot give this same dose of frequency to somebody else. Training history, advancement level कति छ, like हामीले सुरुमा एजमा पनि हल्का यसको बारे चाहिँ कुरा गरेको थियो. But then what does the athlete need first and foremost? Let's say a bodybuilder comes to me, lot of muscle, big guy, but then powerlifts ma average हुन्छ, and this could be possible. So उसलाई muscle अझै put on गर त अझै बलियो हुन्छस् भनेर त it doesn't make sense for me to give him that dose नि त. So we have to focus a lot more on technical ability and to be able to use the muscle. Whereas somebody quite strong but quite skinny छ भने technique perfect छ, so then maybe we want to have him put on a little bit more muscle. So यस्तो कुराहरु हुन्छ. अनि obviously fatigue management को बारे चाहिँ I think we're going to discuss it when we talk about the mesocycle building, जहाँ चाहिँ हामी accumulation गरेर deload लिन्छ. Fatigue management चाहिँ I think we'll talk more about it then, but then we have to keep all of these things into consideration. And finally scheduling कस्तो छ, you want the athlete to train 5 days a week, but then उसको kids छ अनि he or she has a job and doing still studying or something, working. So 2 दिन 3 दिन मात्र ट्रेन गर्न मिल्छ भने we cannot force them to train like us हुन्छ नि 4 days 5 days how much ever. And on the opposite end of the spectrum too, कसैलाई चाहिँ एकदम धेरै गर्नु मन लाग्छ, but we have to tell them कि like ए हैन, this is gonna be a bit too much भनेर. So these are a lot of consideration. अब यो सबै कुरालाई राखेर चाहिँ basically एउटा annual plan बनाउनु पर्छ. अनि we don't have a case study here, so I'm just gonna make up one or two athletes, and then I think we can wrap up this video. Alright, so let's make up an imaginary person. So let's say his name is Naam ke rakhi? Ram Joshi? Ram Charan. त्यो ओजसको नामै रामचरण हाइट 5'7", सो नेपालको एभरेज हाइट अनि त्यसपछि स्क्वाट 140 बेन्च प्रेस 125 deadlift 180 so I think this is like a very age पनि लेख्नु भयो नि त रामचरणको एज कति 21 year old so yeah let's say this is like I think this is a very common scenario अनि athletes that we're dealing with from Ox Strength अनि let's say नाम मात्रै हैन अब यस्तो एथलीटहरु चाहिँ हामीहरुसँग छ अनि how would we program something for them and end of this mesocycle चाहिँ end of this training block चाहिँ he has a competition block competition date and लास्टमा चाहिँ competition छ है so we have basically 12 weeks to train 12 weeks train गर्ने भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले strength block general peaking block यसहरुको बारेमा कुरा गर्यो but when we look at this training program particular training program he looks like he's got a really strong bench press so 125 kg bench छ 140 squat छ अनि 180 deadlift छ so he's got decent amount of back strength अब generally मात्रै हेरे अब when we talk about programming we look at a lot more aspects हैन तर general एकदमै general हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ normal height strong bench भनेपछि big shoulders arms tricep होला deadlift पनि decent छ but not very strong because I think the leg is the limiting factor because he can only squat 140 so I see a lot of potential in this guy's squat and he needs a lot of hypertrophy in the squat whereas the bench press मा चाहिँ we need more technical prowess so squat bench press deadlift लाई खासमा तीनटै डिफरेन्ट लाई नै अलग्गै गरेर एनुअल प्लान बनाइन्छ तर फर द पर्पस अफ दिस भिडियो चाहिँ टु सेभ टाइम वी आर गोना मेक one ट्रेनिङ प्लान सो 4 weeks each को चाहिँ हामी के भन्छ मेसोसाइकल क्रिएट गरौँ बिकज वी हेभ एक्ज्याक्टली 12 weeks अनि 4 week को ब्लक गर्दा नि हुन्छ अथवा वी क्यान मेक 2 बिगर लङ्गर ब्लक्स तर अब सिन्स वी वान कभर मोस्ट अफ द फेजेस वी आर गोना मेक 3 blocks हियर सबै खालके नै ब्लक बनाइदिएँ मैले So the last match competition so this last block is going to be the taper so last match competition so the last week is going to be a taper week we'll talk more about the taper in a bit 3 weeks of peaking 4 weeks of general strength and hypertrophy block and suruma चाहिँ intro block alright so यो एउटा general एउटा understanding of हाम्रो periodization concept चाहिँ यति नै हो अब यसमा अब के कुरा हुन्छ त अब since we only have 12 weeks to run this block so we want to be more cautious about when he takes time off because 12 weeks मात्रै हुँदाखेरि I wouldn't put time off but then let's say during this phase in his life he's got to attend something so let's say he has a wedding to attend हैन so यहाँनिर लेखिराख्यो as just as a note because this isn't for the client this is for you so आफ्नो स्टाइलमा एउटा लेख्नु भयो हुन्छ so मैले यसमा कन्सेप्ट चाहिँ के राख्यो भने because hypertrophy is so important for this athlete we are keeping 5 weeks of hypertrophy including the intro block which is going to lead into the hypertrophy block so सुरुमा चाहिँ we want to ease him into the training त्यसपछि focus a lot on lower body strength and त्यसपछि lower body एउटा general foundation set भइसकेपछि चाहिँ then we want to move into trying to express more of that strength so bench press मा हुन सक्छ deadlift मा हुन सक्छ squat मा तीनटैमा नै will express more of the strength and then we'll run a short peaking block अब peaking block could be a bit longer but then I think time spent more on general strength and hypertrophy is going to be more fruitful to us so we only have 3 weeks for peaking and then finally we taper so about a general annual plan चाहिँ यसरी बनाउँछ and I think some consideration you are able to understand next video what we'll go into is choose one of these blocks and then go inside that block and then how do we actually write the training program down and how do we build up towards this and if later we want to make some changes to this annual plan then we can come back so yeah that was it for today and maybe you have a little bit more understanding of the annual plan concept and thank you guys so much for watching like always if you're interested in getting coached by me or anyone of our team the link is in the description down below and we will see you in the next one. Peace.